Hello students, you are watching my channel NP classes. Let me introduce myself. Myself Neelam Patil, qualification MSc B.Ed, specialization botany. I have 6 years experience of teaching. Today I am teaching first chapter from biology textbook standard 12. Name of chapter is Reproduction in lower and higher plants. First, reproduction. First we see what is reproduction. Reproduction is the production of young ones like parents. What is reproduction? Reproduction is the production of young ones like parents. Then there are two modes of reproduction: sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Two modes of reproduction. First is sexual reproduction, second is asexual reproduction. Then we see difference between these two. Sexual reproduction requires two parents. Asexual reproduction requires only one parent. In sexual reproduction, formation and fusion of gametes occurs. In asexual reproduction, formation and fusion of gametes does not occurs. In sexual reproduction, meiosis occurs in reproductive cells. In asexual reproduction, meiosis does not takes place. Then first we see about sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction we will see later on. First we see about sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is characterized by fusion of male and female gametes, means fertilization, the formation of zygote and embryogenesis. Means sexual reproduction involves formation and fusion of male and female gametes, that is fertilization, then formation of zygote and embryogenesis. Then you have studied structure of plant. Which is the reproductive structure of the plant? Flower. Flower is the part of the plant in which sexual reproduction takes place. Means flower is the reproductive structure of the plant. Then parts of typical flower or LS of typical flower. LS of typical flower shows pedicel, thalamus, calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Pedicel is a stalk of flower. Terminal portion of pedicel is thalamus, on which floral whorls are arranged in a cyclic manner. The floral whorls are grouped into two groups: accessory floral whorls and essential floral whorls. Accessory floral whorls are calyx and corolla. Essential floral whorls are androecium and gynoecium. Accessory floral whorls are called non-reproductive floral whorls. Essential floral whorls are called reproductive floral whorls, because calyx and corolla do not take part in reproduction. Therefore, they are called non-reproductive floral whorls or accessory floral whorls. And androecium and gynoecium, they take part in reproduction. Therefore, they are called essential floral whorls or reproductive floral whorls. So, calyx is made up of sepals, corolla is made up of petals, androecium is made up of stamens, and gynoecium is made up of carpel. For sexual reproduction, you must know the structure of typical flower. Then male reproductive structure, which is called as androecium. Individual member of androecium is stamen, or androecium is made up of stamens. Then structure of stamen. Each stamen consists of anther and filament. This is filament and this is anther. Then there are mainly two types of anther: monothecous anther and dithecous anther. Monothecous anther contain only one lobe and dithecous anther contain two lobes. Monothecous anther contain two pollen sacs. Dithecous anther contains 4 pollen sacs. Therefore, dithecous anther is called as tetrasporangiate. Next point is internal structure of anther or TS of anther. TS of anther consists, or wall of the mature anther consists 4 layers: epidermis, endothecium, middle layer and tapetum. Epidermis, endothecium, middle layer and tapetum. Epidermis is the outermost protective layer made up of tubular or flattened cells. Endothecium is subepidermal layer made up of radially elongated cells with fibrous thickening. Inner to the endothecium there is present middle layer, which is made up of thin-walled cells which may disintegrate in mature anther. Then tapetum. Tapetum is the innermost nutritive tissue, a nutritive layer of anther wall. It is immediately encloses the sporogenous tissue, that is microspore mother cells. Next point, microsporogenesis. Genesis means formation. Microsporogenesis means process of formation of microspores. Each microspore mother cell divides meiotically to form tetrad of haploid microspores. Microspores are also called as pollen grains. Means from each anther, inside each anther there is a microspore mother cell. That microspore mother cell divides meiotically and form a tetrad, means 4 haploid microspores. Microspores are also called as pollen grain. Then structure of microspore or structure of pollen grain. The typical pollen grain is non-motile haploid unicellular body with a single nucleus. The wall of the microspore is made up of 2 layers. That wall is called as a sporoderm. 2-layered wall, outer layer is called exine, inner layer is called intine. Exine is very thick and made up of complex biodegradable substance called as sporopollenin. It may be smooth or with sculptured pattern. At some places, exine is very thin, showing thin areas known as germ pores. Germ pores are meant for the growth of emerging pollen tube at the time of germination of pollen grain. Then inner layer is called intine. Intine is thin, smooth and made up of cellulose and pectin. Next point is development of male gametophyte. Male gametophyte develops from unicellular uninucleated haploid pollen grain. Development begins inside the anther before pollination and it is completed over the stigma after pollination. Means development of male gametophyte completed in 2 stages. Development in anther before pollination and development on stigma after pollination. Inside the anther, cytoplasm of the microspore or pollen grain divides mitotically and forms 2 unequal cells. Larger cell is called vegetative cell and smaller cell is called generative cell. The wall of the generative cell gets detached from the wall of the microspore and generative cell swims freely in the cytoplasm of the vegetative cell. At this 2-celled stage, microspores or pollen grains get liberated from the anther and get deposited on the stigma of the gynoecium after pollination. Pollination means transfer of pollen grains from anther to the receptive stigma of the gynoecium. Further development takes place on stigma after pollination. On stigma, pollen grains absorb sugary or sugary substance from stigma and pollen grain swells. This causes rupturing of exine at one of the germ pore and intine comes out in the form of a tubular outgrowth or which is called as a pollen tube. Vegetative nucleus migrate in the pollen tube and generative nucleus follows behind. Here generative nucleus divides mitotically and forms two haploid. Generative nucleus divides mitotically and forms two haploid non-motile male gametes. Means pollen tube with two haploid non-motile male gametes, cytoplasm and tube nucleus is called male gametophyte. Students, if you like my video, then like, share and subscribe to my channel.